So these impulse purchases are costing her future self up to $1 million. Today we are reacting to how a teacher spends her $69K salary. If you're new around here, I'm Laina. If you haven't already, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming up.
I'm a teacher in New York City and I make $69,000 a year. I have about $23,000 in savings, $21,000 in a retirement fund, and $2,000 in a savings account.
I was getting excited when I saw that $23K in savings, but the majority of that is in a retirement fund. And we don't actually want to touch that retirement fund until retirement. So the only real savings she has for an emergency is that $2K. And I don't know what her monthly expenses are yet, but I can pretty much guarantee that that $2K would not cover 6 months of living expenses. And basically, if anything major breaks or happens, your car breaks down, you have some sort of medical emergency, I can pretty much guarantee you that it's going to be more than $2,000. So I would love to see her grow that savings account number so that she would be prepared in a rainy day.
I've been working for a teacher for 4 years now, and every year they put a little bit in my retirement fund. So essentially it took me 4 years to work up to $21,000. After taxes, my take home is $3,534 a month. I spend $640 on rent, $270 on utilities, $60 on monthly subscriptions, $300 towards savings. That leaves a little over $2,000 to spend. Right now I only pay $640 in rent. I really lucked out. I had a family friend who knew another friend who owns a house, and she has 4 rooms in that house, and she rents them out for very little. She rents it out to women who are trying to build something with their lives. She says, you know what, you're only going to be here for a couple years. I'm going to help you out. I was really blessed in that situation.
Paying that little in rent is amazing, especially for New York. But you don't have to be in her situation to take advantage of something like this. You can do this anywhere. It's called house hacking. So if you rent a place and then you have one of your friends live in every single bedroom, or if you can own a place and then rent out the bedrooms, that might even cover your mortgage so that you could live for free. We house hack in a different way. We own a home and we use 2 of the rooms as an Airbnb, and that significantly lowers our housing costs, but we do not have roommates.
I'm an impulse buyer. I classify myself as that, but just recently I decided that I had to get more serious with my savings. I'm just trying to learn how to stick to a budget and kind of stay there. It's hard. New York City has a lot of fun things to do and they all cost money.
This can be so true, especially if you live in a big city with lots of cool concerts and events and museums that you could go to. You could be spending money left and right. It's a little bit easier if you are kind of like me and you live kind of in the middle of nowhere and there's really not that much to do or places to spend money. It's kind of like an automatic savings plan in a way. Of course, there is Amazon and they still deliver right to my door.
Here's my last statement. Try to spend more on experiences than like actual things. JetBlue, $161, American Airlines, $118. I finally got my ticket to Ohio to see my best friend, who I haven't seen in so long. I was very excited that day, and I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it 2 days after payday. That was one of my most expensive purchases, but it was worth it. I really missed her, so I hopped on a plane and I went to see her. ATM transaction, $80. That must have been poker. I've been playing for a good 3 years now. My poker face, it is flawless. I scare people. They don't realize it.
So if she was a client that I was working with and one of her goals was to save more money, I would seriously think about cutting back in that poker department. This can really get out of control. Sure, if this is something you do for fun and the most you ever spend on it is that $80 every month, and that's what you have set aside, and that's a hard and fast rule. But that's not normally how gambling goes, and it's easy to get out of control with that. And if you really want to get serious about savings, this would be kind of the first place that I would cut back.
Target, $62. I always spend more than I think at Target. Fandango, $35. I hope that was Doctor Who. Family Dollar, $23. Check Card, Livingston Manor, Brooklyn, $17. Smile Fish Mart, $11. Church Meat, $6. realplans.com. Oh, RealPlans is a budgeting website that I tried. It keeps tracks of the transactions you made.
That is pretty expensive for a budgeting app. I might just try a piece of paper first and try to keep things as simple as possible so that I don't have to keep track of as many things.
Lincoln Station, $17. That's my favorite cafe. Church Avenue, $14. Little Caesars, $8. Rite Aid, $22. Golden Crust, $10. Family Dollar, $7. Starbucks, $4.
So I'm noticing all these little purchases and these really add up. And it's just like me, I know myself, and I know that if I go to the store, I'm going to spend money, and I might end up spending that $62 at Target just like she did. So what I want to do is I want to lower the amount of times I end up going out and going to the store, because it doesn't feel that dangerous when you're like, oh, it's just $10 here, it's just $15 here, it's a sandwich here, it's a coffee here. Hopefully they're going to show us later on like a total for this, because these purchases add up and I kind of want to see how that works out. This is probably majorly hampering her savings goals.
Equals $31. I went out and bought a planner because I needed to get my life together, so I thought that was a good idea. Element Beauty Lounge, $61. Element Beauty Lounge is my nail salon. So it's a very frequent purchase. I probably go every other paycheck to get my nails done. I like to go to get my nails done, get my hair done, so things like that. iTunes, $14. That one happens regularly. Uber, $14. MTA, $32. That's my next weekly. Uber, $9. Funny because I did buy the MTA weekly pass, but I still take Uber. I don't know what it is.
So she's buying this Metro card, but only a week at a time. So I'm sure she would get a better deal if she got like the monthly subscription, and it would be easy to have enough cash for that if she cut out these Ubers. So we have $174 on Ubers. And this is kind of a convenience thing. This is a luxury thing because, of course, taking public transportation is less fun than calling a car to your house and getting them to chauffeur you to wherever you need to go. But she says she wants to be serious about saving money, and sometimes that's not comfortable. If she could stop doing the Uber and just use that Metro card, she could be saving $2,000 a year. And in just 5 years, that's more than 10 grand. Now that is a nice emergency fund.
Most of my money probably is in Uber and Seamless. My job pays for my Ubers every single morning, but if I'm any bit tired, I'm calling it Uber, which is probably my downfall. The deli, $15. Why did I spend $15 at a deli? I don't remember. I work about 12-hour days, so when I come home, I'm like done, and I'm ready to just go out to eat. Rite Aid, $12. Another withdrawal, $41. Cheapo Air, $15. That was insurance for the flight to Ohio. Family Dollar, $6. Colonies, another poker spot, that's $22. Fisherman Cloves, $12. Venmo, $30. I lost. That's me giving the money back. My travel clutch.
So you can see that it wasn't just the $80 of fun gambling. Now we're getting more gambling charges and extra than she was intending to spend when she got there. This is a slippery slope that I could see leading away from all of her financial goals.
$42. I bought this really cute swimsuit for the summer. I was very excited. MAC store, $7. That's makeup. I buy that every couple of months or so. Old Navy, $37. Old Navy, $10. I am a big Old Navy's fan.
I'm also seeing a lot of charges for clothes. So I think it's approximately $100 already in clothes that she's bought in this 1 month. And maybe, this is her every 6-month clothing spree, or maybe it's December and she needs new clothes or something like that. But if this is a regular thing that's happening, this is not helping her money goals. And she could have already increased her savings goals to $400 a month by leaving out this clothing, and another, $175 by leaving out these Ubers.
Buys, $8. Family Dollar, $2. Another Old Navy purchase, $8. I forgot something and I had to go back for it. Amazon Market, $5. Shake Shack, $17. JetBlue, $25. Boar's Head, $13. Pharmacy, $8. CKO Kickboxing, $20.89. This is the beginning of my summer and I just got off of work and I was an optimist. That's what the kickboxing was for. I was going to kickbox all summer and I was going to love it. And I went to a class and I said, nope, not for me. It was very unusual for me. It's something I always wanted to do, like at least try it once. And I tried it once, only once. Rooftop Cinema, $51.
So she wanted to try kickboxing and then she decided it wasn't for her. But this kind of represents those things in our budget that may be on those reoccurring charges, but we don't actually want them or need them. And sometimes we forget to cancel them. But these are really painless ways to increase your savings rate and lower your expenses. It's just cut out the things you're just not even using anymore. So this would be a no-brainer for her to cancel. I'm sure I have a few of these lurking in my budget. It's not worth it to spend money on things that you don't use and you don't want.
I treated my god sister to a rooftop movie because she just had a baby and I wanted her to get out. Amazon $4.99. A parent gifted me a gift card for $50, so I bought the foot peel with that. That's why it's only $5. That purchase is very unusual because who buys the foot peel off of Amazon? And I did. So yes. That is my monthly money breakdown. So 30 years from now, I plan to be a teacher or maybe a dean or assistant principal, but staying in education is probably my life. Success in budgeting is, I want to say happiness, even if it's not like a grand life. I don't have like a lavish lifestyle. I don't want to worry so much. And maybe taking a little less Ubers. I'll probably own a car by then.
So if her goal is to not have to worry so much, I would really think about building up that emergency fund. She is getting a screaming deal on rent, and she should really take advantage of that difference and be putting all of that into savings. So the average monthly rent for a studio apartment in New York City is between $3,000 and $4,000. So if we assume the low end of $3,000, she is saving $23.60 a month on rent. And in my opinion, she's kind of blowing a lot of that money, which she would have been forced to spend on rent, on random things. She could really hugely increase her savings rate if she was able to cut out those unnecessary expenses. And the biggest one I'm thinking about is the eating out, the coffees with friends. Even if we could be cooking at home one time a week, it would be healthier and it would save us so much money in the long run. Now, I'm not suggesting a sudden cutoff to all of this. It would probably be more realistic to do a transition. Like, how can I add one meal at home this week and reduce my eating out by one? The biggest thing about budgeting is making promises to yourself in advance and then following through. That's the tricky part. If this were my client, the biggest thing I would want her to be working on is setting expectations for how much she's going to spend in each category, like food and travel each month, and then following through on that. So if she has a travel budget and she doesn't use it one month, then it can roll over to the next month, and then she could go on a bigger, more exciting trip the next month. But this impulse purchasing, not making a plan in advance and then not following through and buying a bunch of random little things, this is what leads people to not have enough money to retire. So if we could take 3 of these categories out, the gambling, the Uber, and the eating out, that would be $565 a month. If she took that $565 a month and invested it in something simple, like an indexed fund, like the S&P 500, super boring, in 30 years, she would probably have about $773,000. So these impulse purchases and gambling habit, these are costing her future self almost $1 million. If you like videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.